just seems irrelevant as the killing goes on.
Lindsay Hilson reporting. Pure gold in triplicate. That was how the other Ronnie Corbett described him. Working together, he said, was 40 years of harmonious joy. Ronnie Barker, one of the greatest comedy performers of his generation, has died after a long illness. He was 76. In a career which spanned more than half a century, he made millions laugh as one half of the two Ronnies. His classic sitcom roles in Porridge and Open All Hours turned him into an icon of British comedy. Our arts correspondent Nicholas Glass looks back at his life.
In another age, he would have been in vaudeville. The early career was in theatre and radio, but television was his medium. Ronnie Barker was that rare kind of popular entertainer beloved by the public and television executives alike. A comedian who could help deliver an audience of up to 18 million on a Saturday night. The title for the show came easily enough. In the office, they'd always been known as the two Ronnies.
Everybody in? Hey? You back, George? No, still down there, Sid. Hey, what you're staring at now is one of those uncanny encounters of the 3rd Division, see? Probably due to the time warp on the A33 between Croydon and the coast. Hey, of course I'll back you, Burke. Has the week gone already, then? Yes, time flies, Sidney. Good thing elephants don't.
The very best, 5-star, the creme de la creme he was as a performer, as a writer, and as a person, really. He was just, an absolute gem.
Good evening. I am the president of the Loyal Society for the Relief of Sufferers from Mispronunciation. For people who cannot say their worms correctly, or who use the wrong worms entirely, so that other people cannot understand the bird they are spraying. It's just that you open your mouths, and the worms come turbling out in Wakasay that you dick knock what you're thugging about.
Very, very few actors can do it quickly and subtly, and he was one of those. He was very crisp and brilliant in his delivery, and he could do tongue twisters absolutely incredibly. He had mastery of language, but he did it with subtlety as well.
Ronald William George Barker was born in Bedford in 1929. His father was a clerk with Shell Mex. After a stint in repertory theatre and 7 years in the Navy Lark on radio, he first collaborated with the other Ronnie on The Frost Report in 1966.
I look down on him because I am upper class.
I look up to him because he is upper class. But I look down on him because he is lower class. I am middle class. I know my place.
John Cleese today remembered Ronnie Barker as a warm, friendly and encouraging presence to have when I started on television.
Here you are. 4 candles.
No, 4 candles.
Well, there you are, 4 candles.
No, 4 candles. Handles for forks.
I've said how fast he was. Shall I talk about the slowest thing he ever did, which was the 4 Candles sketch, which is so famous. He wrote it himself, and it was a very, very funny sketch. But it was the character of those two people in it, the acting, and the anticipation. The jokes were funny, the puns, the misunderstandings, but they were real people.
In the 1970s, there was also Porridge, written by Dick Clement and Ian LaFrennay, in the character of Norman Stanley Fletcher.
We've got a soprano?
We've got lots of sopranos in here, mate. Some of them baritones need watching and all. Don't let them gruff voices fool you. Come over here, sonny.
And then there was the shopkeeper Arkwright in Open All Hours.
There she goes, Granville, Nurse Gladys Emanuel, with her black bag neatly laundered and her blouse tightly packed. Rushing away to someone's bedside? One day, with any luck, it might be mine.
Let's hope not. She's a midwife.
David Jason paid this tribute today. Working with Ronnie was always a joy and were, without doubt, some of the best years of my career.
Tell me how's your love life, Jack? Full of the joys of spring, mate. Is it still that 6-foot brunette? The one with the enormous...
Only Barker retired from television at 57, although he was persuaded to return from time to time. Earlier this year, the two Ronnies co-presented the best of their old sketches, many of which he had written under a pseudonym.
Suddenly we got this mystery writer, Gerald Wiley, and none of us knew who he was, and we had a dinner at a Chinese restaurant in which he was going to be presented, and Ronnie Corbett had got a set of cut glasses for him, and there were rumours that it was Harold Pinter or Tom Stoppard, and suddenly we noticed there was nobody else there, just us, and Ronnie Barker stood up and said, well, it's actually me.
And now it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.